D-Day in Pakistan, over 120 million voters will be casting their ballots moments from now
to choose their next Prime Minister. But back-to-back terror attacks have cast a shadow over elections, raising major security concerns in the country.
Now, on the eve of the elections, 3 explosions rocked Pakistan. A grenade blew up in a terrorist's hand in Karachi, killing him and 2 others. 1 person sustained injuries hours before the incident in Karachi. Twin blast struck Balochistan province as well. At least 26 people have been killed, 50 others injured outside offices of an independent candidate and a regional party. Locals have lashed out at security lapses in the already volatile region. The Islamic State terror group has claimed responsibility for the Pishan district bombing. The United Nations, meanwhile, has strongly condemned the attacks on the eve of elections.
We are not satisfied. The government of Balochistan spends billions of rupees on security annually, but there is no security here. Recently, there were many incidents that took place in Quetta and other places. Particularly, election campaigns were targeted. A hand grenade was hurled at an election office, instilling widespread fear among the people and creating an atmosphere of apprehension throughout the area.
The spurt in violence and targeted attacks have once again raised questions over Pakistan's preparedness in conducting peaceful elections. In light of the incidents, Pakistan's caretaker government has indicated that it might suspend internet services. However, no such official announcement has been made yet.
Moreover, the country will also be closing its borders with Afghanistan and Iran for pedestrians today. The move is an added security measure to ensure peaceful elections. However, despite thousands of military personnel deployed, miscreants continue to carry out multiple attacks.
And now, to get you more on this, we're now being joined by Pakistan Bureau Chief Anas Malik. He's joining us live from Lahore. Hi Anas, thanks for joining us here on WION. Just 30 minutes to go for the polls to open in Pakistan. Is there anything new that has been implemented this time? Do you see any difference in preparations from the last time you covered the polls in 2018?
Well, yes, you rightly mentioned less than 30 minutes now. I'm outside the polling camp of PMLN's Nawaz Sharif and Hamza Shehbaz. This is the constituency of Nawaz Sharif where I'm standing. Pakistan is just waking up. It won't be wrong to say they're just setting up the camp right behind me. They're just setting up the camp. And very near to this is a polling station as well, where we saw just a couple of people lining up, waiting for the polling station to open so that they could go and vote. In about 25 minutes from now, Pakistan will go to polls. Now, onto your second part of your question with regards to what's new, there are 2 things. The advent of digital media is something that is playing a key role in these elections. We've said that historically in 2013 and in 2018 as well, but with the technological advancement, we're seeing that more and more awareness among the masses is there, courtesy the advent of digital media. So I think that is the new factor. The other new factor is with regards to the beef of security measures. As I said, that there are about 600,000 plus security personnel, those who have been deployed across the country. And the third newer factor is that Pakistan is historically accustomed to having polls in summers, not in winter. So it's a bit cold, but it is a public holiday. And everyone's expecting for a healthy voter turnout, something that would have quite of a bearing going forward on the future of this country.
Right, Anas, thanks very much. We'll of course be tracking this very closely. Just less than 25 minutes left for the polls to open in Pakistan. Thanks for joining us.
Well, also for more on this, we have with us Owais Tauheed from Washington, D.C., who's a senior journalist and analyst. Thank you so much for joining us on World DNA.
Me and your show.
So, of course, now to begin with, ahead of the polls, the United States said that it's closely monitoring the electoral process in Pakistan. Talk to us about the growing international concerns regarding free and fair elections in the country. This, of course, as the United Nations Human Rights Office also voiced its concerns. What's your take on this?
There are major concerns regarding the elections, which are soon going to be held, and people in millions will come out and cast the vote. But there are already question marks on the fairness of the elections, and at the same time, there are major concerns expressed by the UN Human Rights Commissioner, Amnesty International, Pakistan Human Rights Commission, and other international rights groups about the increase in violent attacks against the candidates, and that is actually going to create a hurdle in creating a conducive environment to hold polls in a country which is facing a fragile security, especially in the southwestern Balochistan province and in the northwestern Khyber Pakhtunkhwa. Both the provinces border with Afghanistan, where Taliban rule.
Right, Mr. Tohid, you speak of how there are major challenges in Pakistan ahead of the elections, and the road to elections, that has not been easy to say the least. The PTI has been in disarray. There's economic and political instability in the country. What do you reckon are the top concerns of the voters?
The country has been facing political instability since the ouster of former Prime Minister Imran Khan, who is in a jail cell, barred from participating in the elections. His party is facing the crackdown by the regime and by the powerful quarters, which means that the military establishment. And that was the accusation, and that has been the accusation of Imran Khan's party activists and party leaders, who are either underground or they are actually waging an unconventional means of participating in the elections through social media campaigns and covert canvassing. So it is going to be a major challenge for Mr. Khan to begin with, and it seems that they are not having a level playing field in Pakistani elections. He is considered to be the most popular politician in the country. He has had falling out with the military generals in 2022, and just before the ouster through a parliamentary vote. So I believe that is the major concern, that the voters of Imran Khan have a fair chance to cast the vote, because it has been stripped off or deprived of the famous election symbol bat. So they are contesting as independent candidates. So to begin with, they are actually participating in the elections with a handicap. Be that the country is facing massive economic crisis, and it is burdened with IMF loans, it's burdened with foreign loans, and at the same time, it is facing fragile security as well. So there are major concerns, and at the same time, a big number of voters are the young voters.
Right.
So can you believe that in half of the electoral votes, for example, 57 million voters are between the age group of 18 to 35, and there are new voters, 23 million new voters, and they are going to be play a game changer. If they come out, and if they come out in a large number, so Mr. Khan might have a better chance in today's election.
Now, in fact, sir, I was just going to come to this, as you mentioned as well. The opposition, it's essentially been wiped out. What are the voters really in for? Do you reckon that the election results are a foregone conclusion here?
It's interesting, sort of you rightly mentioned, and probably you must have read the editorial and op-ed pieces, especially in the English press of Pakistan, that is it election or selection? So there are perceptions in political circles and public sphere that Sharifs Sharif's-led Pakistan Muslim League Noon is going to be emerge as a major political party in today's polls, and Sharifs are now believed to have backing of the Pakistan's powerful military establishment. Nawaz Sharif, who has remained Prime Minister for 3 times. He has just returned from his self-imposed exile from London. His sentence or his conviction has been overturned by the court. He is free to participate in the elections, and his partymen, his party leaders are saying that he is probably going to be the Prime Minister for the first time. But his brother, Shehbaz Sharif, who was the Prime Minister after the ouster of Imran Khan, he is also in the run. So, but obviously, there are question marks on the fairness on the election, whether they are going to be held freely or impartially.
Right, Mr. Tawheed, thank you so much for taking our time and joining us here on WION.